I've always fancied having a go at long exposure movement shots, the sort of thing that combines a long exposure with blur and the freezing power of flash. Now, Seth Miranda, right here on Adorama TV, he is the king of this type of photography up close. So I thought I'd do something a little bit wider. So in my small home studio, which is 15 feet by 17 feet, I've got this background set up. I'm going to need every single inch of this to pull it off, I suspect. Now, I'm Gavin Hoey, and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And if you haven't already done so, click on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon, so you never miss a video right here on Adorama TV, because we have new stuff pretty much every single day. So, let's get the lights set, let's get a dancer in, let's get shooting. So to make this work, there are three essential things you need. And the first one, well, let's talk about the background. You need a dark background for this effect to become really obvious. Now that could mean you're going to underexpose the background. You could do this with a white wall if you had enough space. Not in my small home studio, so instead I've gone with a physical dark background, at least the best we can. That will be absolutely fine. The next thing is light source, and you're going to need two types of light for this. You're going to need a flash, so I've got my flash here, I've got the Xplor400 from Flashpoint, and you're going to need some continuous light. So that is up on the other side, and that is the Interfit Badger Beam. It's a 60-watt LED continuous light. Both of these lights have grids on them, and the grid is there simply to give me some direction to the light, because I really don't want any light spilling onto the background as it's not absolutely brilliantly black. So that's what that's there for. So those are the three essential things, but technically there's four things you need, because the fourth thing you need is a really good model. And today we're really lucky because we got the awesome Sophie. Come on in. Sophie is also a dancer, so that works really nicely. Let's get the lights set and see how this is going to work. The first thing we should sort out is the lighting, because we've got multiple lights going on here, not least the lights in the room. So I'm going to turn on the Badger Beam, there we go, and I'm going to turn off the room lights, like that. That's good. So now we have light coming down onto Sophie, but you'll notice the flash, although it has a modeling light, it's really important that that is turned off. However, it is actually on, the flash is on, ready to go. So I've got my camera set up at the usual settings, flash sync speed, I've got ISO 100, f5.6. Let's just take a picture of Sophie, see what we get. Now at those settings, even though the LED is on, it can't be recorded by the camera because it's just underexposing. So in order to see the LED, I need to increase the amount of time the shutter is open. So we were at 250th of a second. Let's slow it down to maybe a 50th of a second and try that. So at that setting, there is a little bit of light coming through, but it's still not particularly bright. In fact, I need to go down to something more like a 10th of a second before I can really see any effect from the LED. The flash, however, is always the same. The flash lasts for a tiny period of time, but the longer the shutter's open, the more of the LED light I see. But here comes the fun bit. If I take my camera off the tripod and I do the same shot, okay, Sophie, here we go. Okay, and I give the camera a little shake whilst I'm doing it, you can see both a sharp picture and a blurry picture. We're getting a blurry picture from the long exposure and the LED light building up, and a sharp picture from the moment the flash fires. And that's the principle we're going to use to capture the movement of Sophie dancing. With the lighting basically set, let's have a look at the effect of movement, because that's the whole purpose of this, to capture and show some movement. So Sophie is primed. She's going to do a little bit of a dance move between there and about here, but I'm only going to use the LED light to light Sophie. So the flash is currently turned off. I've got it set to about a 2-second exposure. Let's take a test shot and see how this looks. Sophie, are you ready? Okay, I'm just going to come around the back of the camera, and in your own time, away you go. So that's a 2-second exposure, and you can see that Sophie isn't sharp anywhere because she is constantly moving, but she is recorded the entire time because the LED is on the entire 2 seconds of that exposure. So now I'm going to add the flash into the mix as well. So we'll still have the continuous light, but there'll be flash firing during the 2-second exposure. The question is, how bright to make the flash? Well, that's what my flash meter's for. I'm going to guess that Sophie is going to finish about here somewhere. So let's just take a flash meter reading. We're looking for f5.6. which we've got. So this point is about f5.6. I could put a mark on the floor if I wanted to be absolutely accurate, but in reality, you can't be that accurate. It's not that easy. So this is about the right position for Sophie to end up. Sophie, are you ready? Yeah. Okay, let me pop my transmitter back on the hot shoe of my camera. Okay, Sophie, in your own time, away you go. And straight away you can hear something isn't right. The flash fired at the beginning of my exposure and Sophie has blur going across her face. She's not in the right position for the flash, but nothing actually went wrong. This is exactly how cameras and flashes are supposed to operate. It's called first curtain sync. The flash fires at the beginning of your exposure time. And that's where slow sync flash or second curtain sync flash comes in. It allows me to move the position of the flash firing from the beginning of the shot, which is the normal position, to the end of the exposure time. And that means that Sophie will move, she'll get here at the end, and then the flash fires and she should be frozen at the end of the motion. That's the plan. Sophie, are you ready? Yes. Let's see if it works. Here we go. Same settings, nothing's changed. Sophie, in your own time. And that worked absolutely brilliant. So the beginning of the exposure, we get all of the blur, and then at the end, when Sophie has reached the flash nice and close, then we get the pop of the flash, and that freezes everything. That works brilliantly. And that's it. That's the entire setup. We are ready to go. Sophie, I say we. Sophie, are you ready? Yes. Okay. Sophie's got the hard work to do. I just have to come back behind my camera. And Sophie, in your own time, away you go. Okay. Go for it. Perfect. Sophie is obviously a brilliant dancer, but for a different look, we can add some props into the scene. So I've got some fabric here for Sophie to use. We've got some basic white fabric, I've got a flag, and I've got some of this organza, which is really nice. Let's see how this changes the pictures. So Sophie, I'm going to give you some of that. We're going to turn the room lights off, of course, and we're good to go. Okay, are you ready? Okay, in your own time, away you go. I'm ready. Okay, in your own time. I'm ready. Trying to squeeze a full-length dance shot into 15 feet less the space of some lights, and that's quite a bit. It was a bit of a challenge, but it was a challenge well worth undertaking. Sophie did a fantastic job with some assistance from Hannah, and the end results, I'm just really pleased with them. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, or you've got any questions, leave me a comment below. Click on the bell icon and you'll never miss a video right here on Adorama TV. And we have new videos, well, pretty much every single day. And of course, don't forget to click on the, ta-da, it's magic, the subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey, thanks for watching.